My staff, my colleagues, and I have been working very, very hard to refine this legislation, to come up with a more reasonable price tag, and to address the needs of our veterans community. Now, in that process, I have been accused by some of, quote unquote, moving the goalposts. Well, I guess I have. I have moved the goalposts so that the legislation we are introducing today is substantially lower than what passed the Senate and what passed the House. And if that's called moving the goalposts, I suspect that in this case, it's moving the goalpost in a positive direction. In fact, the bill that we are presenting today would cost less than $25 billion. Mr. President, I have worked for a month and a half with my House Republican colleagues, led by Veterans Affairs Chairman there, Jeff Miller, to find a compromise. You know, everybody knows House looks at the world different than the Senate. We all know that. And if we go forward, we need a compromise. We have put good faith offers on the table time and time again, and we have tried to meet our Republican colleagues more than halfway. But, Mr. President, I am very sad to say that at this point, and I hope this changes, but at this point, I can only conclude with great reluctance that the good faith we have shown is simply not being reciprocated by the other side. This is an example of what's happening. Somewhere around 10 o'clock in the night, the co-chairman of the Veterans Conference Committee, Mr. Miller in the House, announced unilaterally, without my knowledge or without my concurrence, that he was going to hold a so-called conference committee meeting in order to introduce his proposals. Needless to say, his proposal is something that I have yet to see. I don't know what it is. This is a proposal that nobody on our side has seen. My understanding is that he then wants to take this to the House on Monday to come up with a vote. In other words, his idea of negotiation is, we have a proposal, take it or leave it. And any sixth grader in a school in the United States understands this is not negotiation. This is not what democracy is about.
But I hope all of my colleagues recognize that for us to not come to agreement on legislation which is not that dissimilar, which passed this body 93-3, and over on the House side, I believe it was unanimous, is really a gross disservice to those who deserve our consideration most.
The best way forward is for people to sit down in a room and work out their differences, not to go forward with just unilateral statements. That makes sense?
Well, could I say to my friend from Vermont, I believe that it's a matter of simple courtesy that you, as the chairman of the committee, should be asked to come to a meeting with the other major chairmen and ranking members of the committees. And I hope that kind of thing doesn't happen again.